Okay, I think we'll get started just so we can keep to time this morning. Hello and welcome to today's UCL Global Business School for Health, MSc Biotech and Pharmaceutical Management Taster Lecture. My name's Lauren. I'm part of the Marketing Communications team at the Global Business School for Health. Today's lecture will give you a taste of what to expect if you choose to study the Masters in Biotech and Pharmaceutical Management and help you gain insight into what it's really like to study on this exciting program. You'll see there's a Q&A button at the bottom of your screen. You can submit questions there at any time, and the panel will address them during the Q&A session after the lecture. The session is being recorded and will be shared with you via email today, following today's event. Now to introduce our speaker, I'm delighted to welcome Dr. Radi Haloub, Director of Education, Associate Professor and Programme Lead for the Biotech and Pharmaceutical Management Master's Programme at the UCL's Global Business School for Health, who will be giving today's lecture. Um, like I said, if you do have any questions, just pop them in a Q&A box and we can address them at the end. And with that, I will hand over for the lecture. So over to you, Radi.
Thank you very much, Lauren, and good morning, everyone. Oh, good afternoon, everyone. I'm not sure where you're calling from, but it will be great to talk to you about the program. And let me just introduce today's session is about what do we call the strategic fit, is how the pharmaceutical industries are acting and engaging within the current environment in a globalized context and sustain its competitive position. So I'm going to talk to you about that from decision-making process. But before I do, can you share the screens, Lauren?
Yes,
Just
I'll do that
introduce
now.
the GBSH.
Just sharing.
Yeah, there we go.
Is that okay?
Yeah, can you put? Yeah, fantastic. Thank you so much. Yeah, can you go to the next slide, please? Thank you. So we are the first business school dedicated for health. The business school is not as the usual business school. We teach you the soft skills that are necessary for health industry, and that is on demand. Scroll down, please. There you go. So why I'm putting this slide, I've received that question from the beginning. You can see the slide again in the induction, because every time we talk about the school, we remind ourselves with our vision, why we exist, what is the mission, what are the values and the goals. So the vision in the school is to be the global leader in business research and education for health. That is our vision in the school. You should tick that box before you graduate, and you should make sure that we prepare you to become a global leader in business research and education for health. Our mission to empower you, to empower the education, research, and professional community to accelerate health systems innovations for the improvement of societal health outcomes globally. That's the mission. So, we will empower you with the skills needed, and I'll reflect into that in the goals in a minute. And the values, we are visionary, impactful, ethical, and inclusive. That's our internal culture within the school, and we expect all the students to share these values with us. And the goals, we will provide you with high quality employer and sector aligned degrees. We prepare you for the future. We ask the critical questions and what are the demands in the market for fresh graduates doing their master's degree at UCL. Develop and assist students' business and health functional knowledge, and facilitate the continuous commitment of staff to provide impactful research and build knowledge transfer partnerships, taking a pioneering business and innovation perspective. So all these, you're going to feel it in all our deliveries, in all our activities, in everything that we do. For example, next week on Wednesday, on 25th of June, we have the Dragons Den event. So the students were going to present their ideas. We've got real dragons. We've got real funders who would like to fund it. So we are building that type of relationship between the students and the industry during the program. So you will graduate with list of contacts using on Zoom, interactions and emails, and maybe jobs. So GBSH addresses health challenges through business education and produce world-leading graduates who will shape the future of health sector through innovative education in management and leadership in healthcare. We literally prepare you for challenges in healthcare, see the future through our vision to support the current and future workforce. So I put here the DNA because we are making some mutation into your DNA and how you're going to change. A lot of the students, they felt that before the graduation. They felt like they are new people after the end of term two. And I said, just wait until you complete term two, term one. Wait until you complete term two, and then wait until you complete the whole year. We were going to put you in touch with the alumni association. We've got a group of students who graduated, and they are also leading different units and different businesses here in the UK, and they can facilitate jobs for us in the future. Next slide, please, Lauren. Thank you. I love this photo. This picture was taken in September 2022. This is the first cohort of students when we thought this is the first year in the GBSH, and we don't know the students. I'm not sure if you can, look closely in there. You can see that they are all coming from different backgrounds. They are coming from Europe, China, India, Thailand, Japan, Russia, Ukraine, the United States. So all the students are coming from different backgrounds. And we've taken this photo. You can see me here in the middle. We're together as part of the building a community around us and building what we call the knowledge hub. Next slide, please. Okay. About me, you can scan it. I did my first degree in pharmacy, so I'm a qualified pharmacist. But I worked in the industry for a long time. I worked for about 9 years. I don't remember how many products I launched. I worked in the Middle East. I've had the subcontractors from European countries, some of the European countries, some of the Far East as well, North Africa. So we used supply goods from North Africa. I've launched the cardiovascular line in one of the pharmaceutical companies, and I've launched relaunched the injectables in other. Then I joined Procter & Gamble for a while as a head of business unit, and that included a lot of changes in my career, in my way of thinking, and how I can see the world differently. And I will pass it on in my lectures and seminars. Next, please, Lauren. I want to know more about you. So can you please scan the QR code? So I'll get to know you. Sorry, I have hay fever. Hay fever is one of these funny types of health issues because the body will gonna be different. We are reacting to the histamine resistant drugs in a different way, and it's seasonal. It will impact the organizations. It will impact how we manufacture these products and the cost of the supply chain. So there are so many variations in there that we're going to teach you in pharmaceutical and biotech and pharmaceutical management program. I'll come to the Minty in a minute because Lauren is sharing her screen, and then I'm going to look at what you have added here. But I will going to give it 1 minute before I move on.
I've just scanned the code myself. It does say thanks for joining. I don't know if you need to change it.
Thanks, Lauren. Let me just have a look.
Okay.
Can you try now, Lauren? Sorry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm joining this session from.
Great. Yeah, that's it.
I've also put the link in the chat if anybody is already on their phone, so they can just click the link.
Yeah, there is a question here. Sorry, I can't access the link. It says the survey is already completed. So thank you. Can you rescan it, please? Thank you. Lauren, I'm happy to share my screen and to show, the attendees, where are they from in a minute.
Yep. Would you like me to stop sharing for now?
Yes, please. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Here we go. So we've got students from different countries in here. I'm joining the session from, I can see Taiwan, UK, few here. The word that means more people from it. We've got students from India, we've got Indonesia, Italy, Kenya, Algeria, Ireland. That's really great. That's really good. So what does that tell you? That most of the students who would like to join this program are coming from different countries, and this is one of the a highly diverse program here at UCL, probably across UCL, here across the whole university. Let's just move on to the next question. So can you please answer this one? Did you answer that one? Have you got access to that one?
It does still just say I'm joining this session from on my screen.
Just that one. Let me just present
Yeah.
this, and then I can. Then there we go. Yeah, can you go to the next one? I'm using the same questions that we've had from last year as well, last week or 2 weeks ago with the test session, so we can see where are these students coming from. So it will be great, to see all these responses.
I still do just have the first question.
Just the first question. That's very
Yeah.
weird. Let me just stop sharing and check that. Maybe it needs to refresh this. There we go. And then the survey. Then here we go. We've got here the results. Got everyone here. Yeah, and can you try again, Lauren?
Mm-hmm.
I can see some movement in the. Yeah, does it work?
I've just got I'm joining this session from still, but maybe it's
Is that
if you
for
can see it
everybody
moving.
else? Yeah, I can see some movement here. It's weird because that is not supposed to be. Let me just do that. Refresh. So that's the speakers. That's supposed to be visible now.
I'll just refresh again.
Yeah, try to refresh that. Or maybe leave the page and then rescan the QR code.
I still just have that first question. I'm not sure what's going on.
Yeah, it's very weird. But let me just share with you the results that I received anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So just here we go. So a lot of the students, they are still in the process of decision making. I can see some movement here. A lot of the students are still in the select the right option. I secured my place, and some of them I didn't secure my place. For those who did not secure your place, don't worry, you still have time. Um, we teach in the biotech and pharma the art of making decisions, and I totally understand and respect that those who would like to make these decisions slowly, because that is a big investment to you as much as a big investment to me. You're investing your time, effort, and money to come here to UCL, study, and I would like to make this also worthwhile for you. And also a little bit about you. I've got students, a majority of the students, they are from science background. That's from the data that we collected. I'm not sure if you can still see the screen. I couldn't see any movement in here. Oh, there we go. I can see some movement, which is great. So I'm a pharmacist. I have a science background. I have degree in business. I can see students coming from the economist background because they would like to be working with the government or working with the hospitals in the pharmacoeconomics and maybe to support banks. Those who are from finance background, they study here because they would like to work with a pharmaceutical company after graduation, which is quite good. But a lot of the students, you can tell here from the curve that a lot of the students coming from science background because they want to go to the managerial side. Most of you guys, you're probably not interested to be in the lab. And I also have here, why do you think studying management in pharmaceutical is important? And I can see here a lot of really good responses. It removes the ambiguity. Let me just present this here. There are navigate complex international regulatory frameworks. I believe that's the right management. We can bridge the gap between discovery and the market. Even good and innovative products will not be successful if you don't have good management behind it. Even good products and innovative items. Pharmaceutical industry is very niche. It's a very niche and special industry. I won't say niche, but I would say very special industry. Especially seen in a pandemic, even a pandemic when it is most vital industry. I always say the pharmaceutical industry is the engine of healthcare. Without pharmaceutical industries, just imagine we don't have AstraZeneca and Pfizer. How would we get the vaccine? The pharmaceutical industries, basically those who provided the vaccine for us. And I will talk about the vaccine in one of the weeks and about the business model of the vaccine. It's much more complicated than it looks. So I was in France last week, on Thursday last week, and I had a meeting with Sanofi Aventis. Sanofi Aventis is one of the one of the biggest companies in the vaccine manufacturing. Of course, here in the UK is GSK and other countries, but we can talk about these later on when you join. So he was talking to me about how the changes in the market impacted the vaccine tolerance and how people are becoming much more resistant to the vaccine. That will impact their research and development. That will impact their investments. With more technological advancements and evolving in health demand, strong leadership is important to facilitate responsible growth and improve public health. You're absolutely right. And how these technological advancements can help pharmaceutical industries to sustain the leadership position in the market and stay, on top of, other countries. We'll talk about the nationalists' approach of pharmaceuticals and all these factors and how these political factors would impact everyone. There's another plus here. Also, I believe that management skills are essential and cannot be completely replaced by AI in the future. You're absolutely right. AI is another supportive tool that you can use. Last year, the theme was about the AI in pharmaceuticals. Every year, I deliver a theme that is different from each other. So my promise to students from the beginning, not all the students are going to get the same, each one of you're going to have some sort of specialty in certain aspects. And I always ask pharmaceutical companies about that. I'm a judge in the Pharma Award nights every year. And I sit with them. I said, oh, what is basically the most appealing, question in the interviews when fresh graduates complete? Some of them, they say sustainability. So I covered the sustainability in 2023. I covered the pharmaceuticals post-Brexit in 2022. Last year, I covered the AI in pharmaceuticals. Next year, about the internationalization of R&D and about the access to medicine. So that will be also another factor. So you're going to learn, you're going to have something unique in your toolbox. I call it toolbox after you graduate because these skills are your toolbox. Management helps to improve the efficiency. I like that. It's very hard to define efficiency, but we can explain that later on during the program. It's important to effectively bridge the science and business. And I always say, that's a really good comment. I always say this is, the scientists, they use the left side of their brain Unlike the artists who are going to use, or marketeers, are going to use the right side of their brain. I believe there is a connection in there, and I think this is a muscle, in my opinion, that we can work on, and we can also improve that relationship between the left side of the brain and the right side of the brain to become much more comprehensive. It's very similar to what I will present to you in a minute, which is the relationship between the business and the corporate side of things within the pharmaceutical industry and how they interact. So I'll come back to this in a minute. So I think I covered everything I need in here. What are the main skills that you hope to gain from this degree? I can see the leadership, strategic thinking. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. You will become an artist in doing the strategic thinking, management skills, entrepreneurial skills, the confidence. That's really nice to see here. Your ability not to make decisions, but to defend them, pricing, critical thinking, that's all good in terms, and that's what we all cover anyway overall in this program. What do you hope to learn? What to expect? I like that. That's a really tiny sentence and direct to the point. What to expect from this program? You expect to receive an aligned degree in pharmaceutical industry that will help you to find a job. I do sign all the recommendation letters for my students, and I do know where are they going to. So I've signed a recommendation letter in PwC in Taiwan, to join a consultant associate in healthcare in PwC. And recently also I signed a recommendation letter for Novartis, marketing associate. Novartis, the person who attended from Novartis, they came to the Dragon's Den last year, and they met with my student, and they said, "Oh, we want that student to present to Novartis," and we did facilitate that, and they got the job. To get the feeling of what lectures will be like, it won't give you the full feeling here because we're doing this online, but we will have more engagement face to face. You're more than welcome to come. For those who are calling or joining us here from the UK, we have Dragon's Den event on Wednesday the 25th at 6 o'clock in Marshgate. So if you're available, by all means, you're welcome, and you can meet with us in person. Organization of the program. I'll talk about the organization of the program at the end. Is this course right for me, or if I will enjoy it? I wouldn't really say anything about this program. I would really connect you with the graduates who completed this program. And if you have LinkedIn account, please follow me and follow my students, or my graduates now. They think they are my colleagues, I would say. And they were going to tell you about the program. Gain a surface level idea about the course, an overview, how it's going to be, level of academic rigor, just hoping to feel what is coming in September. See the base of future lectures and style of delivery, depth and classes, career opportunities, and understanding of the program. So that's everything I have from you. Let me just stop sharing my screen and then ask you, Lauren, please, to share yours. Stop sharing. There you go. So the Dragons Den event, we've got 5 groups. All our students who graduated, who will graduate by September, and we have real dragons, and we have real funding for their research ideas. Okay, can you move on to the next one, please? Yeah. So what is the program? What is my vision in the program? I've done I lived in pharmaceutical industry for a very long time. The program will equip you as a future leader with management skills to navigate uncertainty. That's very important. Generates knowledge through a distinctive practical research approach, and shares our expertise with partners to globally transform the biotech and pharmaceutical industry. A lot of people, they are coming to see me because they want to speak to our students. I'm sorry, there are some movement here on the screen. Are you trying to make it like full screen, Lauren?
I was attempting it, but I might just leave it.
No. Yeah, keep that slide. Thank you. Probably, yeah, you're sharing the wrong one. But that's fine. I can see it, and I think attendees can see it. So a lot of the employers that come and speak to me about, they know me in the field and they know the my students who graduate and now they're working with them. They're asking about, you know, what are we delivering this year? What are the changes? And every year we make minor changes to the program based on the feedback we receive from students. So we take these serious, and also we listen to the pharmaceutical companies and what are the demands. So my message to you, if you aspire to work in biotech and pharmaceutical industry, and that's what you want to do, this course is tailored for you. Our goal is to enabling you to adapt to the industry changes, actively contribute to its development, and nurture responsible leaders and sustain the engines of healthcare. As I said, the engines of healthcare is my word. So we need to sustain it. We need to be responsible to the patients. We need to be able to be resilient and contribute to its development. How to do that? You need to be able to make decisions, the right decisions, justify it, and provide confidence around it. Next, please. Thank you. So this was taken from, McKinsey. That was, I think, published in 2022 about the challenges and demands for pharmaceutical and biotech industry. So the pharmaceutical and biotech industry, they are all players in the same field of producing innovative pharmaceutical products, drugs, but they all have different environmental analysis. So the biotech industry is not similar to pharmaceuticals. Pharmaceuticals are those sharks who are going to maybe acquire these biotech industries. They are labeled as small medium enterprises. We are members of bio association, bioinformatics association, so bioindustry association, sorry. And those companies, they work together and contribute to the innovation of each other. They complement each other. So they work within the operating environment. There are some constraints, and there are some of these are for both. So, for example, activities influencing the industry, workforce changes that will impact, the new worker expectations, labor market challenges. Why this is important in pharmaceuticals? Because part of the resources that we offer here in pharmaceutical industry are the scientists who are basically designing the R&D trials and business trials, and they are involved in their business model. So if someone would like to produce a product that is for niche, or what do we call the orphan disease, and most of us in pharmaceutical industry will have to put a business case. So what does that mean? So I'm producing a product that is for certain type of diseases, like for example, the Huntington. And this will going to cost me in the research and development this amount of money, but that's an orphan drug. What will be how to evaluate, the R&D or the impact of the R&D expenses, how we can get the money back. This is part of the process thinking about the labor market challenges and maybe the new work expectations. Geopolitical factors. I'm a generic pharmaceutical company. I am importing APIs, active pharmaceutical ingredients, from India or from Brazil or from China. The tariffs that are basically part of the problem now, how these can be, can we work around it, and how we can minimize our costs. Raising inflation, cost of supply. In the UK, for those who are joining us from the UK, we are basically having the NHS, but that's not applied everywhere. In the US, the situation is different. In Indonesia, the situation is different. In China, the situation is different. What's the role of insurance companies in their access to medicine? So pharmaceutical industry will have what we call the diffusion of individual players' power, the pressure to innovate, and the new modalities, where this will going to be influenced by the industry. And that's why, and that's how this slide we're going to take me to what I'm trying to say today is about the strategic fit. Next slide, please. That's what I wanted to tell you here. So I teach the managerial practices, and you can see here on this clock, you can see that the variations, there is a relationship between the pricing and resources and competencies. There is a relationship between the supply chain and the sustainability and the culture and the consolidation. We're going to cover all that, all over the program, and how these interact with each other in different contexts for different countries for different molecules. Next slide, please. So here we go. Now we have the firm, we have the purpose, the resource capabilities, we have the structure and systems all within the firm, and that's part of the firm. So when you apply for a job, trying now very early, before you graduate, when you apply for a job, you need to look at their purpose, the resources and capabilities. You need to read their annual reports. Are they making profits? What's the structure in there? How many departments they have? Where do I want to work? Should I work here in London, or should I go out and work somewhere else? So that's the firm. Yes, thank you. That's fine. Yeah. And then you have to relate it back to the environment. Within the environment, you have the customers, the markets. Oh, just a
Oh,
minute.
sorry, that's not me. I feel like
I
it
know,
might be
I
on
know,
timer.
I know, I know, I know, that's fine. So we have the customers, we have the market, competitors, and the supply chain, and how the legal framework we're going to impact the customers. For example, in the US, I can promote medicines on the TV. That's not applicable here in the UK. In the markets, you have access to different markets at certain ages. Some of these are within the restriction area. For example, the antibiotics can be prescribed over the counter by the pharmacist in certain countries. How competitors interact with each other. There are two levels of competition. One of them are consumer or customers facing, where you compete and they can replace you, or maybe the competition in manufacturing internally in terms of resource and competencies. And we also have the supply chain, which is, how logistics can work. Should I cross the mountains just to drop the medicine for Amazon, pharmacy, or should I use the normal supply chain channels? And then can you next, please? So it's all about fit. It's all about that. That's everything here. Is what is the relationship between the pharmaceutical industry and or the firm and the environment? Are we within the superior fit? Are we within that line where my purpose we're going to feed well into the competition? My resource and capabilities will also feed well into the markets, and the structure will always help me in the supply chain. If it doesn't, then that chain will going to break, and that will impact the sustainability of the pharmaceutical industry. In fact, that will impact the competitors, where the competitors will going to lead the pharmaceutical industry and we're going to lose market share. Yeah, can you just go back for a second? Thank you. Yes. And that reaction to the environment will be different. How that will be different. Competitors are different. The engagement between, or how these competitors are going to interact with each other, they were going to maybe taking the market share from each other, that will shape the prescription habits, that will shape the environment, and it will have impact on patients. Next. So within that, the industry we're going to interact with each other. The other competitors we're going to go in and out and taking the market share. I'm replacing X and Y and Z product. So we have what we call the direct competitors. We have substitutes, and the substitutes, if you're taking X vaccine, that can be substituted by Y vaccine, for example. So that's a complete substitute, but they are not the similar, molecules. But there are similar generics, for example, that they are literally the same, amoxicillin 500 milligram, amoxicillin 500 milligram, and it's a price war between the competitors. So that is basically where the industry is going to impact both players within the environment. And then we have what we call the macro environment, the globalization, the macro level analysis within the country, the increase in the, just a minute.
Sorry, it's timer.
It's all right, it's all right. And the increase of the pressure in the economics, the inflation, the ability to cross barrier, to cross the borders, and import and export drugs. Next. Which environment we're talking about? It looks like it's a huge environment here, but it doesn't matter where you live. Yeah, keep going, it's fine. It doesn't matter where you live. Do you live in the Middle East? Do you live in America and Canada, Australia? It doesn't really matter, because these microbes and diseases, they don't have passports. They don't need a visa. They just we're part of a globalized world that we live in. But in pharmaceuticals, we learn and we speak the same language. Whether you are here in the UK, you're back in your home country, you are basically from Japan, from Africa, from the Middle East, from China, India, we speak the same language. We speak the same language about the access of medicine. We speak the same language about the cost of operations. We speak the same language about the researchers and about the same language for operations and supply chain. So all of these are similar wherever you go, wherever you go. Next,
Oh.
still working. Challenges will always continue about the regulations, artificial intelligence, technology, decisions, responsibility, making a consultancy. A lot of you guys, you're probably thinking about what are the challenges. The artificial intelligence will always be a process because we promote what we say the co-intelligence. What does that mean? The co-intelligence is your intelligence plus the artificial intelligence. They will synchronize with each other to produce something that is really competitive, very unique, and others cannot really replicate. So these are the challenges within the pharmaceutical industry. These challenges are on different levels. Sometimes these are within the consumer facing level, or maybe internally, or maybe also externally with the competitors, or maybe it's with the patients. Your reputation with the patients is quite important as a pharmaceutical industry to promote your responsibility, being able to provide the technology needed to treat and support patients. Keep going, Brian. Thank you. This program will teach you to assess and justify your decisions. That is number one. That's literally number one. And I'm proud to say that all my students, when they graduate, if they cannot assess and justify their decisions, I spend hours and hours with them to say, what is happening, why this is not happening, in your mind. I can see how students have changed over the years of delivery and currently when they are running their own or leading their own units. Adapt, not resist. You should be able to adapt the changes within the environment. You should be able to understand your competitors. You should be able to understand how the substitutes act, regulations, how they are framed around the pharmaceutical industry. Innovate, not to recreate. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You just shortcut what you want to deliver using the existing resources if you can, and then identify the risks and opportunities in terms of how you excel using your strengths and avoiding the weaknesses. That would also help you. You will identify it yourself when you write your assignments, when you are reflecting on your tasks. Next, please. That's it. This is Marshgate. This is where we live. We should put GBSH on the outside to say this is where we are now. So you can see the stadium behind us. That's the canal. So it's a lovely building. So yeah, that's it for me today. I finished I finished earlier than which is 42 minutes, which is great, and that will give us more time to ask the questions. Oh, there's another slide. Sorry.
That's
The
okay. I can
application.
take over
Yeah,
if
go
you
ahead,
like.
Ryan. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
sure. So like Radi said, if you do have any questions, please type them into the Q&A box now and we can address them in a second. This is just some key information. So most of you on the call today are offer holders, but there may be some people who are still in the early stages of their application. So just as a reminder, our applications close for those who require a visa on the 27th of June. So we've got a week to go. And if you don't require a visa on the 29th of August. If you have your offer, you have 5 weeks from your offer to accept your offer. And importantly, our scholarship application deadline is on the 29th of June. So again, 9 days to go. We would really encourage you to apply. We have GBSH specific scholarships for our master's programs that we would welcome your application. So we have our global healthcare leaders and our women healthcare leaders scholarships. Please have a look on our website for further details on the application process for that and the requirements. I will also put the link to our website page in the chat now. Oh, I will in a second. And finally, just to keep in touch with us, if you would like to speak to Radi or any of our other program leads for a 15-minute one-to-one appointment online, then please do so. We have bookings open now. Again, there's a QR code on the screen. I'll share the link in just a second. And keep in touch with us by following us on our social media, particularly LinkedIn. There's so much going on in the Global Business School for Health. We're announcing scholarships, we're announcing partnerships, we're showing different trips, we're showing what our students are doing and what they're doing after they graduate all the time. So the best way to keep in touch with what we're up to is to follow us on LinkedIn, and we are also on Instagram and X as well. Yeah, so if you do have any questions, we will definitely stick around for a few minutes. I will just find those links now to put them in the chat, and I will also stop sharing my screen.
Okay, do we have any questions? Just have a look. Very fine. My question probably, I will start with a question, Lauren, if that's all right. So if I have an offer, but I didn't really secure the place, or you know, am I eligible for scholarship or to apply for the scholarships by the 30th of June?
So you would need to have paid your deposit and confirmed your place with us before you apply for the scholarship.
Yeah.
That is one of the stipulations. So if you're thinking about a scholarship, just make sure that deposit is paid first, and then send in your application. I've just shared the link in the chat, so all the information is on that page in terms of what you need to apply and where you're sending your application to.
Yeah, yeah, perfect, perfect. That's a really good answer.
Oh,
To
we do
take
have a
this,
question, actually. One's just come in.
yeah, go ahead.
Are there any activities or events planned for the weeks before the course begins?
Yes. So there is an Anna, there is an activity next week on the 25th. You're more than welcome to attend the Dragon's Den event. I think Lauren put that on the chat.
Yeah.
You just need to register, and I will be there. You will also meet with the dragons and the facilitator, Professor Shafi, and also the winners. So you're gonna see what we deliver. Everybody is welcome to attend. This is a, you know, everybody can attend that event. So by all means, just let us know. Just you know, just register and come to market. It will be in room 118. And before the start of the program, we have the induction week. But the induction week can be part of the program per se, but the induction week we don't deliver materials. We deliver, you know, the structure of the program. We deliver the expectations. You meet with the module leads. You meet with me in person, and we will have career session, AI sessions. We have a lot of activities that you probably wish to attend in the induction week.
And there's another question, I'll read it aloud. Could you elaborate more on the research and business projects? What do they entail?
So the research project is you select a research of your own. I always say to students, what do you want to be after graduation? I sit in many panels, and the first question, and they always pass it on to me, by the way. What was your research? You've done your master's in biotech and pharma. Wow, that's really good. What was your research all about? So the research is your identity. You have to select an area and of research that you're interested in after the completion of the core modules that we teach. So you would probably be interested in introduction to clinical trials or maybe managerial practices, one of the subjects within that within these modules, and you probably want to write research about it. I always tell my students to think about your career whilst you're thinking about your research, because most of the time the research is what you're good at, and that's what is defined in your statement. Research has 90% 90% of the mark is for the written piece of work, 7,500 words, and we also have what do we call the personal development plan or the participation marks, and that will also contribute 10% of the research project. For the business project is different. Business project that you work in groups. That's very similar to Dragon's Den idea for that we propose next week. So the Dragon's Den is part of, per se, of the school event, but it's also relevant to the business project, where you work in a group in an innovative idea that you would like to promote and launch. And then you submit 2 assessments, which is the 8,000 words report as a group and a group presentation that would be part of the submission as well in July and in September. The business project, most of the students, they find the experience of working with others, those who never met before, quite interesting. Be improving their communication skills, working closely together, and a certain idea that they would like to promote. So that's the business and the research project, and that represents about 1/3 of the program, 60 credits, both of them. So 30 credits each.
Great. Oh, we've got another question here. I've already applied to the program. I was wondering when we might expect to hear back regarding next steps or offers.
When did you apply to the program? Usually the admissions are quite busy, I'll have to say. But I can follow up if you can email me or email Lauren your application number and we can check where is it now. And then we ask the admissions just to have a look at it.
I'm
It's
just going
it's
to
first
reply
come,
with the email.
yeah,
Sorry.
it's first come, first served. I'm sure you appreciate that. So we usually ask the admissions, to look at these inquiries. But certainly we try to help as much as we can. They have to look at the paperwork. They have to make sure that everything isn't there before they send it to the department for final inspection.
Oh, a couple more questions coming in. So are the GBSH scholarships merit-based only? I can answer that.
Go ahead.
They are sort of done on academic excellence. We do have other scholarships available in other programs that are means tested, but for our master's scholarships, they are judged on your previous experience, and also you'll be asked to submit an essay talking about what you would do with your degree and where you want to take your career. Was there anything you'd like to add there, Radi?
Yeah, yeah. Can you hear me?
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Anything else?
There's another question. What is the UCL GBSH Health Executives in Residence Initiative?
Oh, wow. That's a very, very, very good question. That's a very good question. Well done. So the health executive and residents are those industry representatives who would like to meet with the students and to guide us and to guide the students about their career. You have the opportunity to speak to them. We usually invite them every time to meet with the students. You can arrange that. For example, we've got some health executive and residents who are consultants. Some of them, they have their own business. Some of them, they are working in the NHS. And they're all happy to support the students and speak to them about their career and their future. So that's the health executive and residents. They don't teach, but they are another resource available to students to help them, in their career and their future. But we usually invite them to these events. So I invited the health executive and residents to the Dragon's Den. Some of them might attend, some of them might not attend. They are busy, I would say. But obviously, these people are there to help us and to help you.
Great. We've got another question. What are some common misconceptions students have when going into the course and complaints they have during? Oh,
Wow.
controversial.
So the misconceptions, I'm very happy to say we don't. I make it very clear in the induction that this is the program, that's everything about the program. We never received a complaint from Actually, we never received a single complaint from biotech and pharma students until this moment. And the misconceptions are all cleared from the beginning. Some of the students said, "Oh, I would like to start my own business." Well, that happened twice. In the first year, I would like to join the program to start my own business. And that business is decision-making process. I don't teach innovation, but innovation is taught in a different program, which is digital health and entrepreneurship. So I asked the program lead to interview the candidate, and we facilitated moving them to the course. So we are crystal clear with students. We're going to teach you the art of making decisions. I've added another option module this year. This year is the first year we're delivering it, which is the pharma startup. So pharma startup, for those who would like to start up their own pharmaceutical company, they can take that module as an option. But still, yet I'm teaching the business and the corporate side of the businesses and how to make the decisions. That's everything I can tell you here. But until this moment, I can confirm that we didn't have any complaints about the program since the start in 2022. Do you
Um,
collaborate? Oh, yes.
oh, yep.
I can see the question here. I'm not sure why I'm asking you to read it. Do you collaborate with UCL School of Pharmacy? Of course we do. We've got the School of Pharmacy students are joining 45 credits by GBSH, which is the managerial practices and the business project. That's 15 and 30 credits. So the School of Pharmacy, I worked closely with the head of the School of Pharmacy and the program lead for other programs in there. We invite them usually to the events. We invited them to the hackathon. We invited them to the Dragon's Den event. So all of the students are welcome to join GBSH, and they are basically in terms. We also encourage that collaboration with each other. So that's obviously that's what we do. I'm a pharmacist. Remember, I have my attachment to the School of Pharmacy myself. But obviously, we encourage that type of relationship between the students. And I encourage what do we call in science the informal learning. So informal learning means that you learn from each other. So each one of you will provide something different. You had, your life before joining the program. You can share with your colleagues. You can share with your friends joining this program as well. And we facilitate that in the classrooms for all the students to become one unit. I have another question here that I can read, Lauren. What kind of career areas have graduates gone to? Um, that's a really good question. I have a slide, but I didn't take permission from students to share it. So we've got students who joined the Cleveland Clinic. He recruited 3 of our students this year, I think, or 2. We've got students who join the consultancy firms. We've got students who join the biotech industry. We've got students who are in marketing departments, students in supply chain. Students are consultants in different countries. The reason why I know this because I write them the recommendation letters. They always ask me to write it down because most of their employers, they know me, they know the program. Um, so so I know one of the students, he went to lead a project in Switzerland with Roche. And some of them, they started their own business. I think they just got the funding to do it here in Cambridge. So we've got loads of those students who who has gone to different directions. A lot of the students, they would like to have the consultant's title in their when they graduate, which is fine. But some of them, they don't want to be consultants. They just want to be in the supply chain. They want to be in the department or the finance or to be in the marketing. So there's a lot of, as I said, please, by all means, join my LinkedIn network and connect with my students. They are all available on my network. Most of them, they just write some comments, which is quite nice. But connect with them and ask them about the program. They will be very helpful and they will be very open to speak to you about the program. So you don't have to ask me. You by all means ask them. So are any optional modules offered by the School of Pharmacy? Yes, which is the Pharma Startup module. That's the option. So we have two options: one from the School of Engineering, which is the commercialization of research ideas, and the other one is the Pharma Startup, which is a pharmaceutical startup that's delivered by the School of Pharmacy. These two options are offered to students. Are there graduates who went to work with venture capital companies? Up to my understanding, I have only one who is back in China, and he is now working in, in funding these projects, and work as with the banks, and they also have a new business model, which is to facilitate the relationship between the investors and the innovators. I'm not sure if you heard about that. So if the investors would like to invest money, there's an agent in the middle. These agents are available in Singapore, in Dubai, and in Hong Kong. And some of them are here in the US, but they are not as strong. Most of them, because here they are the innovators. These are the audience of these agents. The agents, especially in Dubai, they are working around bringing the funds, raising capital, and moving investments all along. So yeah, there are some, but they don't have a lot of. I don't have like the full background about what they are doing exactly in these companies, but I can ask. Okay, it's
Okay,
almost
yeah.
10. Wow, really good questions, by the way. Very engaging team. Fantastic. Oh, we've
Uh,
got one question. If there's a short one, do you teach merger and acquisition on the top? Yes, that's part of the managerial practices. So the merger and acquisition is one of the subjects. I call it marriage and partnerships. One of the subjects in pharmaceuticals. I talk to the HS talks, and they will also use my slides about the joint ventures, merger and acquisition, and strategic alliances. Strategic alliances between competitors and between companies might be quite interesting to see. That will be delivered by myself in term one, and what are the motives, limitations, and factors that impact that type of relationship. We also taught this year the partnership between two companies, one of them that offer the platform, for facilitating the research and development, and the others, working with, how this was perceived, what type of competition we have. So partnerships was added to that lecture, and that was the students' assignment: is what are the motives for this partnership, especially after introducing the AI in the business. So yes, we deliver that, but this is also part of other programs, other modules that we teach. Right, it's 1 past 10. We
okay.
covered all the questions, I guess. Lauren, over to you.
Yeah, we'll leave it there. So thank you so much, Radi, for your lecture and for answering those questions today. If you do, after our participants, if you do have any further questions after this call, I'm just popped in our contact email address into the chat. So please direct any further questions there. We hope you enjoyed the lecture today. Thank you for attending. And I wish everybody a lovely rest of the day and weekend.
Thank you so much, Lauren. Thanks, everyone. And of course, I'm more than happy to hear your feedback if you have any feedback about this today, about today's session. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great one.
Thank you. Bye
Bye.
bye.